Hello, my fiery friends. Welcome to another fiery fun stream. I'm your host, the Infernoman here. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Oh, Sneaky Toilet, I see you're popping in early. Great for that. Thanks again for joining us, my fiery friend. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day where you're at. So, what exactly are we playing today? I've kind of been dabbling with this deck back and forth, and also I realized from earlier in the week, just before we leave Tarkir, there's a big player, of course, a character on the whole plane that we actually have yet to actually build a deck around. So, that was what we're going to do today. We're going to be going into an all fun themed deck. So this one's not going to be super competitive, but I'm sure we can get a couple of wins with this one. So what deck am I talking about? Well, let's just jump into it right now and show you exactly what I'm kind of ranting about. So a deck that's going to be all about Narset and spell slinging a lot. I mean, again, it's going to be Narset. So every one of them we were able to get, and anything with her name in it we threw into this deck right here for a deck I'm simply calling Narset's Flurry. I know that sounds a little weird to kind of say, because you would think usually you want to use the word Fury, but it's not really Fury. It's using the mechanic from our actual commander itself. That's kind of what I'm trying to get out there. So before I ramble on, of course, for those of you who are new to the channel, if you are a fan of nice, awesome budget Magic gathering decks, you have come to the right place. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We'll go over this deck, which is going to be budget. I believe the budget right now for this one is, I think it's like 15, 16 rares and a total cost of about maybe $80. So a little bit more on the higher side of things, but we tried to keep it as cheap as possible and still have it at least functional to the best of my ability. But before I also continue on about how that all works together, as always, here's the breakdown for those of you who are new to this and who haven't seen my videos or any of my live streams. We're mostly going to go over, of course, the stats of the deck, go over every single card in the deck itself to kind of give you a little overview of what's going on, and then we'll play as many games as possible while on the budget version. A little bit later on to the stream, we will be doing an upgraded version of the deck if you do like what the deck does, and maybe you do want to invest a little bit more, which are rares, mythics, or even paper, however you want to look at it, and show you how you can really cut loose with a deck that's designed in this style. Once we are done near the end of the stream, as always, we'll kind of do a quick little overview of the deck, the good, the bad, the ugly, and kind of see, like, is this a deck we want to play with in the future, something I would recommend to other players, and if you do like that, beyond that, we'll kind of give you also a little sneak peek as to what's to come down the future for the channel. Now, as always, let's go over the stats of the deck first, because longtime viewers of the channel know how we do it. We have to talk about the stats of the deck before we dive right in. So, Narset's Flurry today, as I just mentioned, is going to be in Jeskai colors. That is going to be white, blue, and red, with an average mana curve of about 2.4. You're looking at an amount of 16 creatures, 31 instants, 10 sorceries, 3 artifacts, 5 enchantments, 4 planeswalkers, 1 battle, and 30 lands. Again, the 30 lands is a little misleading because we do have a lot of cards that are all spells, but also they can be tap lands when we need them to be. Now, so with all that said, you probably can figure out now, like, that's actually a lot of spells we got in the deck, but we really want a specific kind of spell for this kind of interaction. For this one specifically, we're going to be utilizing our commander here, which is Shiko and Narset Unified. So this is a human spirit dragon. That's actually a really cool typing, by the way. Then it has the Flurry mechanic. So this is where the name of the deck comes into play. Flurry is a mechanic that was introduced for the Tarkir Dragonstorm. It was introduced for the Jeskai clan itself. And basically what it just says is you get to kind of do cool stuff anytime you cast a second spell within that turn. So for the Flurry on this card specifically, it says, when we cast our second spell each turn, we get to copy that spell if it targets a permanent or a player, and you may choose new targets for the copy. If we don't copy a spell this way, draw a card. Welcome, Dense Planet. Thanks again for joining us today, my fiery friend. Hopefully you're having a great day wherever you're at. So you're right now, as we're just about to kind of go over the deck itself. So kind of what we're going to try to do is we all just want to ideally go off with at least 2 spells, so we can then start copying the second one while we target something. Either way, even if we don't do that, we get some sweet card draw out of the deck, so this is pretty good for us no matter what we do. This is a solid card that helps us kind of do a draw engine and with what our game plan is going to try to do. So let's now go over all the cards in the deck, because this is going to be also a bit of a time because it is a Brawl deck, so it might be a bit, but we'll try to churn through this as fast as we can. And then 1-drop slot here. A Johnny's Welcome. Anytime a creature enters, we gain 1 life. I did forget to mention that we want to not only target stuff, but we also want to make copies of things. So we'll try to see how many tokens we can go off with to help us stabilize. That's why we have Johnny's Welcome into the deck. Boon of Safety is one of our many protection spells in the deck. Put a shield counter on a creature and get to scry 1. Elspeth Smite here. Target attacking or blocking creature will take 3 damage, and if that creature dies this turn, you exile it. So things like this are great because with this attacking or blocking with Shiko or Narset here, we can then hopefully then double up, and we should be able to take out anything that comes at us. So that's kind of where we're at for this. Oh, Madness Steve, hello, my fiery friend from YouTube. Thanks again for joining us today. Hopefully you're having a great day wherever you're at. We're kind of going over the deck tech right now, so stick around for just a moment while we kind of wrap this up, and then we'll get into as many games as possible. Fight as one here, another one of our protection spells. So human and non-human creatures we control can get +1/+1 and indestructible until end of turn. So this is great for us to kind of protect our game plan. Fragmentize here. Remember that again, for Shiko and Narset to go off here, remember it doesn't have to be specifically our creatures. It can also be any one of our permanents or players. So we'll try to go as low as we can with this deck. So that's why we have Fragmentize here. Target artifact or enchantment with a mana value of 4 or less can get destroyed. So that's sweet for us. And hopefully we can just double these up and just destroy anything our opponent throws at us. God's Willing here gives us a protection for the color of our choice till end of turn, and you get to scry 1. Homestead Courage is a really sweet card for us. Put a +1/+1 counter on a creature we control, give it Vigilance until end of turn, and we can flash it back for 1. Requisition Raid. This one's actually worded in a way where it actually does go off with Narset here. So Requisition Raid here with the Spree ability allows us to either destroy a target artifact, an enchantment, or put +1/+1 counters on each creature target player controls. So we could double that up. That'll be also really sweet for the deck. Madness Steve, what did you think of my Avacyn Brawl deck? I haven't had a chance to play around with it, but it actually does look pretty awesome. Although I don't know if we'll have a chance to actually play it at any point beyond like the stream itself. But actually, that is a really cool deck you have there. I guess I would. I don't want to get too off track here, but I would definitely say if I could. How do I put this? I do like the deck. I'll just simply say that it actually looks pretty awesome. But I would like to see if we can I'll probably tweak it myself. No offense, of course, but you know me. I like to tweak it to my kind of style a little bit more. So I'll see around what we can do maybe to play around with that. Maybe we do have a couple weeks still before Final Fantasy comes out. Maybe we might be able to kind of get a pseudo Infernoman version of it to kind of throw on stream. No promises, of course, but we'll see if we can try to make that work in some way. Man, to see if I'm the only one here, do you want to play with against me? We can do one-on-one. Oh, we'll see if we have time for some one-on-one matches with fiery friends. I know Den Splendid always is up for a match, but we'll see what we can do a little bit later on. But don't get it. No promises. We'll stick tight to see what our how the stream kind of flows. So we'll circle back to that when we can. All right, let me go ahead and let's try to wrap this up with all the with the deck itself. So Ruinic Shot here, destroy target tap creatures. If the spell was kicked, scry 2. So again, just targeting things. We want single target stuff as much as possible in this deck to get the most value once Shiko and Narset hit the field. Slip out the back here, probably one of our best protection spells. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and it phases out. So any deck that we have to deal with that has mass exiling, this can get it out of the way and protect ideally Shiko and Narset from getting completely exiled. Wash Away here, counter target spell. This is probably one of our best options here and one of our dirtiest options to throw at an opponent's commander, so for 1 mana. But if we have to, we can also just play it as a normal counter spell, not a big deal. Witness Protection here. This will enchant a creature and then make it lose all abilities to give it only a 1/1 and make it a legitimate business person. So it actually is pretty sweet for us to kind of just lock down certain things that we don't want to deal with. As you see the guard approach, I talk about this card a lot. I love what this card does. Tap target creature or give target creature we control hexproof until end of turn for protection purposes. Lightning Axe here is going to be one of our few bigger damaging spells here. So we just either cast it for initial 5 or again just discard a card to then 5 damage to target creature. Monastery Swift Spear here. We had to, of course, throw in the Swift Spear because we're going to be doing a lot of spell slinging, so haste and prowess, and it gets bigger and bigger anytime we cast non-creature spells. And then rounding it out in the 1-drop slot here, Strike It Rich, just for some pseudo ramping here, giving us a treasure token, and we could flash it back later on for 3. Now, moving on to the 2-drop slot here. This is where we're going to start getting our sweet options here. Since we're going to be doing a lot of spell slinging, we want to make a lot of tokens. So, Clarion Spirit here goes well with the plan. Anytime we cast a second spell each turn, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. So this will help us again start going wide. Exercise here. So, exile the target artifact, enchantment, or a creature with power 4 or greater. So, great removal for us as the game progresses. Could be our takedown here. It can either be our spot removal spell or it can be a tap land in a pinch. Razorgrass Ambush, same thing. More spot removal for us for an attacking or blocking creature, or it can also be a land. Blink of an eye here, bouncing away non-land permanents we don't want to deal with, and if we can kick it, we can also draw a card, so great also for single target removal. Don't Make a Sound here. One of our interesting counter spells we have here, same thing like some of the other ones we've seen in this kind of form where it's, 2 mana, counter spell unless the opponent plays 2. However, if they do, we can still surveil 2, so we kind of still filter our draws as the game progresses. Make Disappear here, same thing, another counterspell. We'll have a lot of tokens to work with, so we can use the casualty ability to kind of make this a little bit more effective. Negate is pretty much going to be a staple for this kind of deck, counter target non-creature spell. Narset's Reversal is mostly here again for flavor purposes because it is Narset, but again, we can either copy an instant or sorcery spell and then choose new targets for the copy. So sometimes we could steal something our opponent does to kind of give us a nice little advantage. Cathartic Pyre here, you can either use this to loot by discarding 2 cards and drawing up to 2 cards, or use this to deal 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker. We have Impact Tremors here. Since we're going to be trying to make as many tokens as possible, we just want to start pinging out our opponent with all the tokens that we make. Kenra Spell Spear here. Well, actually, this is a really cool card. I've been wanting to actually play this in a regular 60 card deck, but it kind of just fizzles all the time. But ideally, what we want to do is we want to be able to flip this so we can make it a 3/3 with Trample and double Prowess. If we can get that to go off, this card is insanely powerful, despite how innocent it may look. Young Pyromancer here, one of our best spells here to help us start going wide as we start slinging instants and sorceries. Make a bunch of elemental tokens so we can help go wide. Searing Blood here does look a little interesting for the deck, but it actually is very effective for us. 2 damage to target creature. If we can power that up with Narset and Shiko here, it does even more because we can do more damage and then throw 3 damage once that creature dies to our opponent's face, which is sweet. Dovin's Feet here, uncounterable non-creature counterspell, so great for us. No More Lies, another counterspell for us. We could exile something if they don't pay the 3. Balmor here goes hand in hand with the go wide token strategy we have here, so as we're slinging spells, we start pumping up all of our tokens, giving them trample and a +1/+0 pump. Expressive Iteration, great for our deck here, even though it is going to be kind of a slow one at sorcery speed. Just dig 3 cards deep, put 1 into our hand, put 1 onto the bottom of our library, and then we can exile the last card we can play until end of turn. Is it Charm here? It does a little bit of everything. Damage, card draw, or it can be a counter spell if we need to. Slick Sequence here. Since we are wanting to ideally sling 2 spells a turn, we could do 2 damage, help us draw another card so it gets some spot removal going. Stormcatcher Mentor here, another awesome card for us. Has haste, it has prowess. This is a really powerful otter and gives all of our instants and sorceries a cheaper cost of 1. Third Path Iconoclast here. This is actually a little bit more higher range than the Young Pyromancer because it'll go off with any of the non-creature spells, making us soldier tokens that we need to. Legion Leadership here. Great for targeting of one of our creatures to give it an extra bit of pump, but it can also be a dual tap land in a pinch. Boros Charm here. Either we hit face for 4, we can give all of our permanents indestructible until end of turn, or target creature can gain double strike. So really flexible for us. Lightning Helix here. 3 damage to anything we want to, and then gain 3 life. Rip Apart here, 3 damage to any creature or planeswalker, or we can just use it as artifact and enchantment hate. Arcane Signet, one of our few but still effective mana rocks that we're definitely going to need in the deck. Collector's Vault can help us just kind of churn through our deck and create treasure tokens so we can do some pseudo ramping and then kind of dig into what we need. Ornithopter Paradise, another mana dork here that goes really well with our deck and help us just fix our mana a little bit better. Hold on one second here. Both decks are shown off at once. Dense Planet got a rather big nosebleed. Oh, sorry to hear that, my man. Hopefully you can get that nosebleed under control, though. You doing okay? Hopefully, just hang in there. I forget now. For nosebleeds, do you tip over backwards or is it forwards now? I don't remember anymore. I remember growing up they said tilt backwards, and then I learned later on they say tilt forward. So I'm very confused as to what way you're supposed to fix a nosebleed. If anybody can let me know, I would appreciate that. I just don't remember right now. Madness Steve. Half of the time, I don't even play Avacyn to win. Constant board wipes often make my opponent scoop before I play Avacyn. The deck is only really weak to rush decks. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of why when I was mentioning earlier with the deck, I mean, I like what it's doing, but it's definitely not my style in the sense that I'm not too fond of just blowing up the board over and over again. I know that works for you, and that makes you, I'm sure you enjoy that, but I'm definitely going to probably look at that and say, can we make this kind of a little bit more my style? No offense, of course. I know it works really well with the way you designed it, but you know me. I like, for example, myself personally, I love doing creature decks, I love doing spell slinging decks, and I love kind of going big and wide, so this is kind of like my style. But again, the deck actually does look pretty sweet for what it does, and I don't blame opponents for wanting to just kind of rage quit. I mean, I probably would if I had to face it by myself, FYI. Any case, okay, I'll continue with the chat in a bit, everyone. Let me kind of finish up the rest of the deck tech to wrap this up as quick as possible. As we go wide, we want to make sure we protect everything, so we have Make a Stand here. 3 mana, instant speed, give all of our creatures an extra +1/+0 pump and indestructible until end of turn. One of our biggest all-stars for the deck, however, is Monastery Mentor here. So this human monk has prowess, and anytime we cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess. If this goes off, man, this is insanely powerful with all things we consider, because this thing will just go super big, super wide very quickly if our opponent does not have an answer. Hydroelectric Specimen here just helps us again with our protection plan here. It can either be a land if we need to, or at flashing it in just allows us to retarget an instant or sorcery to the Hydroelectric Specimen itself. Salinity Vision here helps us dig 6 cards deep to pull out an instant or sorcery, or it can be a tap land. Narset Parter Veils because it is a Narset, and it helps us again kind of slow down our opponent's card draw here, while we can also hopefully dig into our deck a couple of times to help find out a card that we do need. Sink into Stupor here is a great tempo play for us. Just return a spell or non-land permanent to an opponent it controls to their hand, or it can again be a land when we need it to be. Flick a Coin here. It does damage to any target, so we can, of course, double this up with Ashiko and Narset here. We can also, of course, make a treasure, and we'll also get to draw a card. Invasion of Rangotha here. The only battle that is in the deck, and I know people kind of are whatever to battles. I do like what battles can do, but this one will be unique for us because, again, we can then use this to then hit opponent's face for 4 damage and then ping something for 1. If we could flip it into the Human Monk, it also has prowess, and we can do a lot more extra damage once it comes out. We'll also use Sundering Eruption here. It's either land hate against certain things we don't want to deal with, or again, it can be a land itself. Frostcliff Siege. You've seen me play this card a couple times from other decks, but I really like what this card does. Choose either Jeskai or Teamer. If we choose Jeskai, anytime we deal combat damage with a creature, we could draw a card. Or if we choose Teamer side, we can then give every one of our creatures +1/+0 and trample and haste. So this can be effective for us, especially with something like Monastery Mentor here. This goes great with, of course, the Young Pyromancer here, or our Third Path Iconoclast, as we make all of our tokens hasty and more stronger. So that's actually really good for us. Speaking of making tokens, we also have Saheeli, Sublime Artificer here. Anytime we cast non-creature spells, servo tokens are all going to go out. We can then take her down to turn any one of our artifacts we control into a copy of something else. Ideally, we want to use her to then copy something like, again, Third Path Iconoclast. We can copy Young Pyromancer, or ideally, if we can copy a Monastery Mentor, it is usually game over once Saheeli hits the field. Jeskai Charm here because it is on flavor. We can choose one, either put a creature on top of its owner's library to kind of just bounce it away, 4 damage to an opponent's face or a planeswalker, or give all of our creatures we control +1/+1 and lifelink until end of turn. The other Narset that was actually in Tarkir Dragonstorm will also be added to this deck for flavor reasons, of course. Narset Jeskai Waymaster here. This Human Monk allows us to then discard our hand, and if we do, draw cards equal to the number of spells we've cast this turn. So if we spell slung like, 3, 4 cards, we can then draw 3 to 4 cards, but we do have to discard our hand to do it. So be mindful as to when we want to do this, but it's going to be a great card for us if we're just dumping out everything onto the field or just spell slinging like crazy. We have also Reality Monastery here. 2 less to cast if we cast another spell this turn. Otherwise, we create 2 1/1 Monk creature tokens with prowess. Give up to 2 target creatures +2/+2 until end of turn, or destroy a target creature with power 4 or greater. Either way, effective for us at any point in the game. Witch's Enchanter is either a land if we need it to be, or when it enters, destroy an artifact or enchantment, so it's going to be great there. Murmuring Mystic, one of our last key cards here that, of course, will create for us a bunch of tokens if we just spell sling a ton with instants and sorceries. Then we're going to go up with the other Narsets we have in the deck. So Narset Transcendent here. This Azorius 4-mana Planeswalker here allows us to either tick up to then look at the top card of our library. If it's a non-creature, non-land card, put it into our hand. Or you can tick down whenever we cast the next instant or sorcery from our hand, it gains rebound. So this can help us effectively kind of go off a lot easier with Shiko and Narset here. Really good for us. Narset Enlightened Exile here. This is probably my favorite Narset, and this is also why I used it also for the main artwork and thumbnail for this video. So this Human Monk, it gives all of our creatures prowess. So that's actually, believe it or not, this does actually go off with prowess itself. So you can double prowess something if you want to. And if you do that, this means that all of our cards will get super crazy big if our opponent, again, does not have an answer for it. However, if Narset attacks, you exile target non-creature, non-land card with a mana value less than her power from the graveyard and copy it. And then you may cast the copy for free. So this is insanely powerful if we can, again, just get her a little extra pump, and we can cast a ton of stuff very easily. 2 ways you can either make her work is pump her up and then cast a bunch of big spells, or keep her where she's at and then just spell sling off where we can and then just start copying some of the cheaper stuff. Either way, it's effective however you want to use her. Narset of the Ancient Way here. So the other Planeswalker we have that's Narset here. Great for us because it's pseudo-ramping when you tick up, and it also helps us get some life. We can then, of course, add Jeskai of any color to then cast non-creature spells. Tick down to then draw a card and discard a card. If we discarded a non-land card, we can deal damage equal to that card's mana value to a creature or a Planeswalker, so it's pseudo-spot removal. Usually we don't get to the -6, but if we do, if you -6 with it, you get an emblem that says whenever we cast a non-creature spell, ping 2 damage to any target. So great for us at any point in the game. Divine Visitation. We have a lot of token producers in this deck, so in order to flip them into bigger threats, we can then put this down and then make all of them into angels. So this is actually good for us as a nice finisher if the game does go long. Fumigate here is one of our few wraths in the deck that we have. We usually aren't going to run too many wraths in this one, but this is the cheapest wrath we can do. Also the cheapest also on paper. For 5 mana, destroy all creatures, and we gain life for each creature destroyed this way. So we're using this one specifically just to help us stabilize as the game kind of drags on. Narset's Rebuke here, same thing. It is on flavor, so that's why we threw it into the deck. It's instant speed, it's 5 mana, so it's a little expensive, but we can deal 5 damage to a creature and then add Jeskai mana. We exile the creature, of course, once it dies, so great for us for hard removal. Pinnacle Monk here, another monk for the deck, and also it does have prowess, so it goes great with the deck. If we can then play this, we can then bounce back an instant or sorcery from our graveyard to our hand, or of course, you can just use this as a land. And then finally, the last Narset, and probably the most powerful one here, Narset Enlightened Masters. So a Jeskai, 6 mana, 3/2 human monk. First strike, and she has her own built-in hexproof to her. When she attacks, exile the top 4 cards of a library. Until the end of turn, you may cast non-creature spells for free. Whew! So that's extremely powerful if she can just do her thing. And then to wrap it up, here is the mana base. Again, this is going to be budget, but don't worry. If you do want to see a non-budget version, we will go over that after near halfway point into the stream. So 5 plains, 5 islands, 5 mountains, and we'll just run as many dual lands that we can, but we still want to stay untapped. So we actually don't run that many duels in this version of the deck. But otherwise, we'll rock Lonely Arroyo, Tranquil Cove, Eroded Canyon, Swiftwater Cliffs, Abraded Bluffs, Windscarred Crag. For then fexing, ideally, Mystic Monastery is perfect for us. Perilous Landscape, same thing, perfect. You can sack it if you need to then create, to look for any basic you need to for our deck, or you can cycle it away for Jeskai. Arid Archway bounces away something we need to then replay again, but also then gives us a little bit of pseudo-ramping. Command Tower is going to be, of course, a staple in any commander deck. Demolition Field is going to be for non-basic lands that we want to just destroy. Escape Tunnel here is one of our cheap fetches, along with Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse. And for some pseudo graveyard hate, Pit of Offerings, and then we can then tap this down based upon whatever we exile with it. Whew! Okay. I do apologize for that, everyone. As always, when it comes to Brawl decks, it just takes so long for us to get through it all. But I do appreciate y'all hanging in there. Let me go over this real quick. We'll just jump into our match right now, and don't worry, I will catch up with the chat in just a few moments. But that is the whole deck for you, everyone. Can Narset and Shiko combine their powers together to help us overwhelm our opponent with all these spell-slinging value? Well, there's only one way to find out, so let's just jump in right now, and let's see how well we do. Okay. Let's see. Sneaky Toilet, did you tell him to use a tampon? Is that a real thing? Is that a thing? I have no idea. Does anybody out there actually use a tampon to stop a nosebleed? And again, not a joke. I'm actually asking that in a serious manner. Just curious. I get them often since my birth. I would lean back. Okay, so you lean backwards and pinch. Okay. I was told later on in life to lean forward and pinch, but it's lean backwards? Could someone verify that for me? I have no idea, by the way. Okay, Den Splendor also. Have built the budget Atroxa strong despite not having rares to use, all commons and uncommons. Spicy, by the way, but I would like to see how that looks later on, if we have time. Madness Eve, just in a game and popped in an Enlightened counter on my Faceless Haven against an opponent going wide. Oh man. That's hilarious, by the way. Woo, that sounds exciting. Okay, speaking of which, oh wait, we have a match we got to play too. Oops. Okay. Let's see what we got. Okay, so well, this is a little slow for us because we're not going to be able to go off. So let's go ahead, let's mulligan. Let's see. Okay. Well, we can fix with the Terramorphic Expanse on this one, so let's keep this hand. All right, opponent, show me what you got.
It's time to do.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so Hugs. Huh. I haven't seen anybody play Hugs, so this might be an interesting night. We'll see. Sneaky Toilet. Tampons were originally meant to plug bullet holes, so tampons would work for nosebleeds. Okay, well, now I know. It's something I never learned, so thanks again for that little tip for us. Appreciate that. All right, we'll put down the island. We'll play Impact Tremors. Start pinging away once we have our creatures on the field. All right, opponent. Augur bottom. All right, our opponent is slowly starting to build up their game plan here. And we will pass. It's tempting to put down Balmor now, but I'm going to wait for a second here. They are in Gruul color, so I don't know. Oh, no. Let's see. Wait. Make disappear. We're not getting that alchemy nonsense. Not on my field. No, opponents. All right, so at least we don't have to deal with that alchemy nonsense. Opponent swings. We go down to 24. We will sack the Terramorphic Expanse. We need to fix our lands to what we need. Let's get out... What do we get out here? I think it's just going to be a Plains. Let's get a Plains. All right. Pit of Offerings. Okay. Not quite what I wanted to see now, but I guess we might. All right. So all we can do is exile, exile, exile. Not the color I want, but I guess we're just going to have to make it work. So, all right. We're only putting down Narset here just to start ensuring that we can... Okay, decline because we want to keep our hand. We want to make sure with Narset out, we can at least chump block for a little bit. This one's not going to be effective right now, but she might be helpful later on in the game. Man, Steve literally won on 0 life. Nice. That's a sweet win, by the way. Yeah, so Atroxa, I went with budget blink package. I'm slow, but I basically overvalue everything into the late game. That's also sweet too. I do like when you can outvalue your opponent. That sounds so much fun. Okay, so we came here for Shiko and Narset. So here we go. Ping our opponent. Well, I guess we'll just swing. That's all we can do. Down to 20. Okay, nothing yet, but we should be able to go off very soon here. We have everything. We could actually get a third Narset if we really wanted to. That actually would be hilarious. But ideally, if we can get one more land with this Narset, oh man, that'll be hilarious. Okay. Opponent is doing their taps. Start to add oil counters to the Scrap Gorger. Alright, they gain some life. That's okay. Okay, Witness Protection. Let's see. Well... Narset Enlightened, exile, ping our opponents. We literally have 3 Narsets on the field, but we really can't do much of anything. Wait, can they can't attack or block yet. Okay, that's nice. We'll just get an aggressive swing here. Down to 14. Okay, we're literally in range. If we can just do a light bit of spell slinging, we should be able to just overwhelm our opponent on the next turn. Come on, deck. Loot. That's another question I've been meaning to ask. We haven't had a chance to... I mean, I don't like what Loot's design is, but I do like what the card can do. Is anybody interested in us backtracking to do a Loot deck in the future? Let me know. I would love to hear from you guys if you actually do want to see me do a Loot deck. There's 3 or 4 versions of Loot now, so I think we have enough now to make a interesting Loot commander. Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay, so... How do we do this here? Okay, so I think... How do we do this? Okay, so blue and white. Hold on. I think... Okay. I'm trying to figure out the best way we could do this. So if we do that, then... Okay, we can't... Balmor might be the best option here. Ping. And Kabira takedown. We will take out the Topiary Stomper. Prowess, 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 everyone. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. And then we can also hit another creature. Took down Loot. There we go. There we go. Boom. And then, you know what? Why not? We'll cast another spell. This is dirty. We did it! The dream! There we go! Alright. First game. Overwhelming our opponent there with the Prowess Power. Oh man, opponent, you should have let me hit that. Hit you as hard as I could there. Oh, that was beautiful. First game too. Wow, we actually were able to get off 3 Narsets. And then you saw right there, this is why you want this, because that is a lot of overwhelming power, like, there on the spot. Beautiful, beautiful, by the way. I loved it. Beautiful. Okay. Nice. Well, we kind of got to show you more or less, again, how this deck actually works, so I'm really happy about that one. I don't expect all of our matches to go that smoothly, but you got at least to see partially how we can get a win. Whew, okay. Feeling good off that high. Dense Planet, I did it against one who abused the alchemy nonsense. Reminder, no rares. I mean, honestly, like, as I've been playing more and more against you, you actually do have a really good... You have a really, I would definitely say you have a really great way of managing well your deck building prowess and skills, and making sure that no matter what budget you're on, you can still maintain a pretty good synergy. So you've actually been doing really well. I've actually been very impressed with your style. I would even say sometimes you're actually better than I am. Okay, so loading up with the next match here. And okay, while we're doing that, how's everyone's week going so far? Hopefully you guys are all having a good week, whatever you're at. And again, not necessarily just Magic stuff too. Y'all up to anything else in particular? Out and about? Let me know. I would love to hear from you guys about, you know, how your week has been going. In the meantime here, still loading a match, waiting for opponents. Okay. All right. Hopefully we'll get into a match here in just a few moments. But even if we don't, I can always just back out again, but we'll see. Should be fine. Oh. Okay. Whoops. Guess we got a draw after that one. Nothing. Okay, no big deal. We'll just try again. Try it again. Go back in Narset's Flurry. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can actually get a match here. Hopefully we can get another solid victory against our opponent here with what we're playing. I felt so good about that last one there, but I obviously don't expect every match to go that smoothly. We actually hit pretty well, and usually, again, a mono green deck like the way our opponent threw at us kind of help us set up very easily our game plan with little to no interaction until we needed to. So that was pretty good. Okay, so going on with this one here. Well, we do have some early game stuff here, but we don't have the right mana. So, do we keep this? We have 3 lands, and we can still do something. So I think we'll do this. Okay, so Mountain, Monastery Swiftspear. Getting that early game damage in. If we can get blue mana, this will be solid. Dense Planet. Consider it my different deck types isn't my usual flow of. You know what I mean. I definitely know what you mean, but I still commend you for still doing something that's actually usually out of the norm and still being very effective with it. So kudos to you. Swamp. Welcome to Sweet Tooth. All right, they make a token. Okay, so still slow, but we did get our blue source. That's good. We will still attack. Let's see, they'll make a food token. Okay. So at that point, Camilla might be coming out this turn. Let's see. She doesn't. Okay, that's fine. Make another food token. Anything else about it? Maybe. Witch's Enchanter also does fizzle the Sweet Tooth. So that might be helpful for us if our opponent... Maybe we could, yeah. Let's see. Razor Grass Ambush. That's also nice, too. So we'll Witch's Enchanter. Sorry, opponents. Sweet Tooth, no more. No attacks. So we have what we need to also bring out Shiko Narset again. If we can find a way to keep her protected, we should be fine. But our opponent also looks like they're kind of... Wait. Okay, they did get their land drop, so they're going to make most likely a treasure. Okay. Oh, opponents. Swinging. Removal. What you got? Deadly Dispute. Okay. So they will make their rats. They draw 2, make another treasure. Going with overflowing value and switch back to stealing stuff that doesn't belong to me. Ah, okay. So that's what you're trying to do. Well, again, sounds like you've been very successful with it, so I'm happy for you. Opponent swings. Oh, or they don't. Nope. Okay. That's fine, opponents. You don't have to swing if you don't want to. Opponents. Think it away. 5 cards in hand. They're at 21. We're at 26. If we can just get a regular land. Not a regular land, but okay. I guess, it can't be too picky here. We are a budget deck, so we work with what we got. So, I think our best option right now is we need to keep open that 1 blue in order for us to actually... In order to make sure we can counterspell away Camilla. So, they will make another treasure. If she doesn't come out, though, then we can also just use Razor Grass, rally the monsters if we need to. So we do have a couple of options here. What you gonna do, opponents? What you gonna do? Trail of crumbs. Okay. Well, they're definitely trying to get their food going. Speaking of food, what'd y'all have for lunch? Or dinner? I know all of you are scattered in different areas around the world. I had lunch earlier. I had some delicious homemade bean burritos, so those were absolutely good for me. All nice and full, by the way. Okay. Bone Cache Overseer. We still are waiting to see if they're going to cast their commander. Nothing? Nothing. Okay. Boon of Safety. Okay, so that actually is helpful. Some people asked me earlier, because when I was building this and I was showing it to friends, some asked me earlier, like, Infernoman, why not use Loran's Escape, the one that gives hexproof and indestructible? I did think about that, but what this one, if we're doubling it up, we can put extra counters on other things. So that's kind of why my reasoning was for Boon of Safety. So this gives us at least a little bit of protection here to ensure that we can do something here. Unless our opponent has... No, they actually do have the removal. Alright, well, I got a little too greedy there. Okay. But we still get the draw card, though. Even if it does fizzle. Alright. Well, never mind about that. Guess we'll try again on the next turn. Dense feeling. Want to make another Brawl deck that has a Planeswalker as a commander. Feeling Golgari Vraska. Ooh, which Vraska are you picking? And you had wok noodles and cinnamon buns? That sounds tasty. I do love myself some good noodles. Okay, opponent is still going off with Tireless Provisioner. Really solid card. If you ever get a copy for this for any green deck, it is a must. All those triggers you'll get with food and treasures are very helpful. Okay, March of World Ooze. Ooh, okay. I haven't seen anybody play this card yet. It definitely seems powerful. I know at some point I have scribbled down somewhere an Ooze deck that I've been meaning to want to play. But we'll see if we can try to get there at some point. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. Okay, well, we're going to have to chump block here. Not ideal. But we can't take too much damage right now. But we're down to 14 already. Alright, blink of an eye. How do we do this here? Narsets. And, alright, well, I guess we'll have to do it this way then. Not ideal. Okay. Well, not in the best spot right now. Our opponent has all they need to get their game plan now off. They're almost out of cards, but Camilla can come down at any time, and we will pretty much... There she is. And now we're going to get a little wrecked here. Okay. Well, we also kind of stumbled on mana because we didn't get enough blue sources to do any of our bounce shenanigans. So having to ration 1 blue mana did not help us at all. Do Elspeth Stormslayer with Hair Apparent as a theme? Oh, I mean, I've seen that plenty of times. I mean, in my opinion, it's kind of boring. But, I mean, you can do that. A lot of people have tried to do that as a fun gimmick deck. Okay, you want to do Pirate Vraska? The one that creates pirates? Oh, I love her. I kind of wish, though, she was only in other colors, though, because I want to actually... I wish I could add her to the pirate deck that I made in actual paper. But because she's also green... I can't use her, though. Such a shame, though. It's a really cool card. Alright, opponent is swinging in. I think this is pretty much it for us. No matter what we do at this point, we cannot... We can't win. Yeah. Opponent's gonna pump. Yep. There it is. Alright. Take the tokens. Yeah. Okay. I'll let our opponent do their swing. They got us. They got us good. Alright. Did we have fun this match? No, we didn't. It's cool, though. No big deal. Shaking it off, we'll just get on to the next game. No big deal. Jumping back in. Yeah, it's only just awkward. Yes, I wish that Vraska was just mono black. That would totally have thrown her into my Pirates deck I made way, way back. But it is cool, though. She can do a lot of cool things, and she actually has a nice game-ending ultimate ability if you get it to go off. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's see. This is a very slow hand. We need more lands. Well, this is doable. We can make this work. So we'll play the Eroded Canyon, pinging our opponent for 1, down to 24. Okay, opponent is playing Pants Laza, so it's going to be Naya Dinosaurs, but we'll see if we can get around that. Command Tower. Ornithopter of Paradise. Now, if we can go off with Monastery Mentor here, we should be able to lock this out very quickly. Arcane Signet, okay. Opponent's also getting the ramp on. So let's do this. Frostcliff Siege. Creatures we can control get Trample and Haste. So now our Ornithopter can also do some damage. Okay, so Island. I guess we'll do it now. Go Narset. Big hit there. Down to 17. Okay. If our opponent hits Shiko and Narset, that's perfectly fine. No surprise, Vanishing Light. But at least they didn't go after the Siege here, so that's fine. Okay, flick a coin. So with that, we will hurt ourselves with 3. That's fine. Monastery Mentor. We will also flick a coin. And this is what you want to do. Hang our opponent. Hit him there. Down to 10. All right. Nice. We are closing it up. But can our opponent get there with Pants Laza? All right, what'd they get? They got Thrashing Brontodon. Jeez, really? They actually hit that? Oh, come on. So, with that, that actually might be over for us. Hold on one second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7. Oh, maybe we can do it with this. Narset, Enlightened Exile. Okay, opponents. Big swing here. Nice. Ping our opponent for 1. There you go. This is why I love this card. Opponent, I'm surprised you didn't sacrifice the Thrashing Brontodon to turn off the Frostcleave Siege. Did you not want that off the field? Because right now we're just about to make a ton of stuff here. Oh man, this is so beautiful. Double Prowess is hilarious, by the way. I didn't think that actually was... You could do that in the game, but nice. We managed to get that off. Draw into the card. Okay, opponents. Do you block? They do. They do. Okay. So in that case, then, we will play Make a Stand and just keep going. Let the good times roll. Oh, man. Monastery Mentor. What a broken card. But we still got there, everybody. Yes, the aggro overwhelming win of Prowess Power, everybody. Woo! Love it. Double Prowess is hilarious. Can't believe our opponent... Yeah, seriously, our opponent could have just... I was expecting them to use Thrashing Brontodon and then just... Okay. Well, I mean, hey, win's a win. I'll take it. Victory. All right, so with that, we got our next win in. Get a free card. Heirloom. That's kind of cute. And just keep going. Let's keep going. So let's see. Maybe another 2-3 more matches, and I think we'll get ready to flip over to the non-budget version to see how we can really cut loose with this deck. Dense Blended, but hey, solid colors for control and ramp. But one forgotten deck archetype fighting for attrition. Grind everyone to dust. Yeah? I'm not going to... I mean... Yeah, Golgari colors, you have literally the best in terms of removal, and you have the best in terms of ramp. I mean, of course, green also could take care of the stuff that black can't do, like artifacts and enchantments. Black pretty much can destroy everything. And then, I mean, also, if you want to, I suppose you can also go with proliferating too. You can put +1/+1 counters on stuff. Ultimates with the talent. I forget which one it was. You know which talent I'm talking about. The one that allows you to kind of double up all your counters when it comes in. You have doubling season, of course. You have so many things you can do with Golgari. We have to actually make a Golgari deck again in the future. Maybe we'll do that when we get to Final Fantasy. There are some stuff that I want to do, and there is one budget commander I'm going to look forward to doing once we get to dual colors for that. Just got to write that down so that way I don't forget again. All right, anyways, Abraded Bluffs. Ping our opponent for 1. All right, opponents, show me what you got.
It's time to do.
Sneaky Toilet. Yo, I never play Brawl. Is there a ranked Brawl? Actually, there is not. There is no ranked Brawl. Some people have been... I've talked with some people that say they want ranked Brawl. I actually disagree. I kind of like Brawl as is, where it's just a simple format where you're not really... You don't really have to worry about ranks. You're just playing casual. Although, trust me, you can see, of course, if you see enough Brawl games, whether it's with me or others, there are definitely some people that treat this like it is competitive. Like, they go serious with their combos. But it's fine. It is also, in my opinion, the spirit of the game. I do have fun with it. And this is probably my favorite format because there is no pressure of having to rank up or down. You're just trying to play with whatever you got. So, in my opinion, I don't mind there being ranked. If there was ever a ranked Brawl, we could do that in the future, but it's also going to be a little clunky to do that. It would literally just be CDH on Arena, which I don't know if I feel okay with that. All right, so otherwise, let's see. We can Arcane Signet. We will Evolving Wilds and pass. Okay, so we're getting our ramp going too. Okay, opponent is playing a Layla. So this was actually our first commander / Brawl deck that we built once I came back to streaming about a year and some ago. And I do like a Layla. She's actually a really good solid card. Get an island. Okay, so we have Narset's Reversal. That'll be nice for later. Let's see. What do we want to do here? We'll put down 1 Narset. This will slow down our opponent's card draw, but we don't really worry about that. We're just trying to dig for more cards. Okay, so what do we get here? What do we want? I guess we'll get the Ruining Shot. And we'll pass. Okay, opponents. Oh, I realized I probably could have played the Pit of Offerings, but it's not going to really give us much value because there's nothing in the graveyard yet. Sneaky Toilet. Nah, I want ranked because I'm getting stomped at the moment, and I want to play versus people more on my speed. Okay, so you're more on the competitive side of it, I'm guessing. All right, that's fair. I mean, again, if you really want to go ham, go nuts, go for it. You really could pub stomp if you wanted to in Brawl. Trust me, I've been on the receiving end of that, and it's not fun for me. But I know some people out there do like the hyper-competitiveness. So I would say, if you want to, go for it. Your mileage may vary, though. All right. Narset. So what do we want here? I think... Dang, I kind of wish now I got that Wrath. That probably might have been better for us. Let's get the Exercise. So, Island. Sorcery Speed. What do we want to deal with here? Destroy the Ominous Seas. That's gone. And we'll pass. So we can do Shiko and Narset coming up soon. Let's see. Can we get there, though? I mean, our opponent hasn't been attacking us, but I know they're going to want to take out that Narset. Or unless they want to ignore it, that means at least we can deny them card draw. I guess it all depends here on what our opponent does. What you going to do, opponents? Cartouche's Solidarity. All right. Let's see. Do we want to do this here? Nah. I think we'll just let them have it. They will make another token, which is annoying, but that's not the worst for us. All we just want to do is just eventually just hit up the board. But opponent looks like they're going to go to face. And they'll hit 1 creature with Narset. Take out this 1 fairy. At least with this one now, we keep Narset alive a little bit longer. Hopefully. Opponent does have 1 card in hand. I have no idea what that is. So we do get a card, and we get another land. Nice. Okay, opponent hits us to face. Down to 20. Okay. Okay. Shine Chaser. Okay. So that's what they have. Okay, opponent is out of cards. All we just need to do is just start doing our thing. So, Chico and Narset coming down. We came here for a reason. We came here to do our thing. They draw a card. Okay, and this is what we're going to do now. So with that, we will Ruinic Shots. So this is, again, where the fun comes in. Okay, copy. And then we'll also take out that little token here. Gone. So this helps us, again, with... Okay, let's see. Ooh. I think that's actually pretty solid as is. So we'll keep that right now. Okay. That was literally like Scry 4 for 2. That's actually solid. And then we will wait it out here. So, the God's Willing and the Fight as one can help us on the next turn. So if Chico and Narset get targeted right now, we can protect them. And also we can block a Layla if we need to. So, solid options either way. Once our opponent drops that last card, whatever it is, I think we should be good. Opponent, what do you got? Swinging? Okay. I think we'll let them swing here. We'll let them have it. I think we'll let them have it, yeah. Because otherwise they'll know what we have. So, no blocks. Okay, down. Do they pay now? Yep, they do. So they will do their swing. And they now draw 2 cards. Okay. All right. Okay. They... Wait. Oh, this is going to be a copy of anything when they wanted to. Okay. I see. So with that, Pit of Offerings. So now we'll start eating stuff. 1, 2, 3... Nice. Okay, so this fixes now perfectly for any of the mana we need. Third Path Iconoclast. And with that... Okay, I think we should be okay here. So let's see. Till end of turn. We'll wait. We shall wait. Now we have everything we need. We just need to see what our opponent has in their hand. 3 cards in hand. What are they going to try to do? Opponents, 3 cards, 2 cards. Go down to 25. What do you got? What we got going on here? Shark Typhoon. Okay, so we definitely cannot have that stick around, so sorry, opponents. But the good news, of course, is we can start making our oh-so-sweet tokens. Opponents. They're looking at stuff. Ooh, okay. So, we fizzle that. Make a token. Opponent swings, but they're tapped out completely now, so this is actually what we did want. So with that, we will play, let's see. We'll do it this way. Actually, no. God's Willing. Make another token. On the Iconoclast. And then, let's see. So this one, white. Keep it on there. Resolve that one. Also on... Wait, she's also white too, right? Yes. Yes, of course. Okay. Okay. Also on white. Block here. Block here. All right. We go down to 7. So we took a big hit there, but we did take out their commanders. That's good. Okay, requisition rate, that's solid. So with that, we will... we do this here? Okay. Destroy an artifact and put a +1/+1 counter and stuff. Target an artifact. And ourselves. So there we go. Make a token. Mirror's down, so that's good. We can swing here. We need to start closing out this game against our opponent here. So that's why we're going to start doing our thing. Okay, so still looking pretty good here. Opponent is tapped out, so we can get a free hit here. That's great. Down to 17. Nice. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Thankfully, since Narset also has Vigilance, we can still protect on the backswing. Okay. Fairy's getting another boost here. They go down to 16 to get a fetch land. Can we do it? Can we get out of this? Opponent goes swinging. Okay, they're frisky. Okay, well. Block here. That's all we can do. Down to 1. Okay, so. Well, I mean, go for broke at this point, so. Aim here, aim here. We're just kind of going off here where we can. Pump and pump, I guess. And then we also get it back, which is actually nice for us. Put down Divine Visitation. All right, so this actually worked out for us great. So with that, we can then swing with Narset. This has an indestructible too, right? Okay, it does. Swing here. Nice. Okay. We're not dead. I mean, I think we kind of are, but... I mean, okay. Wait, no, we are dead. I mean, we tried. If we got that Divine Visitation a little bit earlier, we might have been able to survive this swing here. Does our opponent know that? Oh, they do. Okay, so... Pump and... Oh, man, if we only just had a couple more things. So... Block here. Block here. Dang, came close, though. We came close to stabilizing completely. I think if I actually chose the Wrath earlier, we might have survived. But, yeah. Man, that was a heartbreaker, though. But it's okay. That was a pretty good match, though. Good match for our opponent there. We came very close. Oh, man. We were going off, so, yay. We got to get a couple Angels, but we just didn't make enough. It's all good, though. Let's get in at least one more budget match, and then we'll jump to the more higher-end version. And I'll kind of explain, of course, as always, that. But as we're loading up, of course, into the next match, as a friendly reminder to everybody, whether you're watching live or you're watching on the replay right now, if you do like any of the content that we do, any of the ultra-budget decks, the hottest ones on the internet, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you watch the content. And if you want to support me month to month, you can support me with a small donation to Patreon. $3 a month is all it takes to then get all of the access to all the deck sets we do that are loaded up there. You get them a little bit earlier than everybody else on YouTube. We also show off on their future ideas, deck techs, lots of like just random other stuff that I try to build that maybe sometimes doesn't work out, but at least you kind of see where my brain set is when it comes to seeing experimental stuff. I will put up there, of course, eventually like some non-magic stuff, so kind of a little bit more in-depth as to who this little cute fireball you enjoy is doing, of course, when he's not doing magic content. So, and then we'll probably throw up down there some non-magic related video game streams and content for those that are going to subscribe. But until then, the other thing I was going to remind everyone is if you also just want to and you don't want to spend any money, that's totally cool. You can also just join us on Discord, have chats with us there about whatever you want besides magic, or it can just be all magic, however you like it. And then finally, as long as, again, you're just supporting me with just a little bit of love here, I really appreciate that. Any and all support helps us out and helps keep the channel growing. Okay, enough of me shilling. Let's see. So we've got... what have we got here? All right, I haven't seen anybody play this card yet, so let's see. Is this a good hand for that? don't feel like we'll get our game plan off with this. Let's go ahead. Let's swap. Okay. Okay, so we got another Narset here. So let's keep this hand. This will be fine. I think we might be able to get by with this. So I think with this hand here, tap lands, we might be able to get to Azorius Narset, and we could hopefully just start getting some card draw going. Hopefully. Alright. Shockland. Lighted Halfling. Alright. Opponent's getting the ramp on. However they can. I don't blame them. Celindy Isle. Okay, opponent. Show me what you got. Bring it on.
It's time to do.
Ah, that never gets old. Okay. Shadowy Backstreet Surveillance. Take heads for 1. We're down to 24. Opponent makes the first move. However, we counterbalance that with a gain life here from our gain lands. We're back up to 25. Demolition Field might be our key piece here to help us start doing our thing. If we can't get a red source, we have to Demolition Field. All depends on what our opponent's doing. All right. They are going to try to cast their commander, but denied, opponents. Wait, hold on. Oh, I forgot the delight to have. Oh, jeez. So annoyed. I forgot. I can't counter it because of the delight to halfling. All right, fine. Opponent does manage to get it in. So annoying, by the way. All right. In the meantime, we did not get our actual color we needed, so we're going to have to kind of finagle a bit here. We'll destroy their command tower. We need to get a red source. We desperately need that. If we don't get that, we cannot do our thing. Okay. Let our opponent pick their land, and then we'll get ours. All right. And, of course, yes, we will take action. Let's go ahead. Let's get a mountain. Okay. Now we have everything fixed. So, all we just need to do at this point is just start casting our spells, and we should be good. Fuel Tank Feaster. Another alchemy card, by the way. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Down to 18. So, let's see. Oh, Fellothar. So, what is he? Okay, he's a Butts Commander. That's what he is. So, assign everything according to toughness. I have an idea. Maybe for another live stream? I mean, we've been starting to go through a bunch of the other 3-color tribes in live streams now. We've done now quite a few, and I think we haven't done one in Abzan, so maybe we can do this one on a future one. What do y'all think? Does this one look like a fun one to build around for budget? I think so. We'll look at that in the future. Otherwise, until then, let's see. What do we want to do here? Let's get rid of that. How do we do this here? Fuel Tank Fester. Okay, gain some life. So we slow him down just a little bit. We need another land, though. If we can get another land, we should be okay. A giant Ox. That might be a problem for us. I didn't think an Ox like that would actually be a problem for us, but... Alright, here we are. Okay. Elspeth Smite. We will pass. Discard a card. We can't really... don't want to discard a card, but we don't have a choice. So let's throw away... Well, I don't feel good about this, but I'm going to throw away the Narset because she doesn't really help our game plan that much. Sneaky Toilet asking, just curious, you said you were building a green poison deck with green. Is it a Fin deck? Well, you'll find out in a couple weeks. We already have actually built right now the mono black ultra budget deck, so that is coming. So don't worry. They're all coming eventually. Let's see. Blink of an eye. Wait, hold on. How do I want to do this here? Yes, blink of an eye. Bouncing away with Fellothar. So this pretty much softens up the whole swing here. That might help us survive just a smidge. We Elspeth Smites away Welcoming Vampire. So at least she'll be gone. Okay, out of the field. So we literally nerfed them down to 1 point of damage, which is good for us. That bought us time. Fellothar coming back. Okay, Arid Archway. That doesn't help us right now. Not the land I needed right here, right now. Okay. I think we might be cooked here. Unfortunately, can't really do much of anything with this hand. Bounce back the red, but they'll swing here, and yeah, we lost. I'll just concede. It's okay. At this point, let's just jump now to the upgraded version of the deck because I'm feeling like I want to be a little bit more stronger. But unfortunately, the deck it got its wins, but it didn't really go the distance in some matches. But we did get a couple of victories, so that was good. Let us now jump to the upgraded version. So if you want to see that right now, let's kind of talk about it briefly, and we'll jump to a handful of matches here. So if we upgrade Narset and Shiko here to something a little bit stronger, here's what we got. So this time around, we're going to flip the script. We want to make sure that if our opponent plays creatures, we can stall them out. So we're going to throw in Authority of the Consoles. We'll get rid of Johnny's Welcome. So this will help us out and gain some life and tap down things our opponent plays. So this buys us time. Great against aggro decks. In terms of spot removal now, not much else we're going to really change here, except we will throw in now Swords to Plowshare. So this is a solid option for us, just exiling what we don't want to deal with here, and goes great with Shiko and Narset. In terms of anything else here, we'll also throw in Storm Chaser's Talent here. We had to throw this in, by the way. It's going to help us make tokens. They get prowess. That's actually solid for us. Otherwise, nothing else really changes in the 1-drop slot. Now going to the 2-drop slot here, we're going to add in a little bit more power here with Dawn's Truce. So this is great for us to protect our whole game plan. We can gift a card, give everything permanent. We have Indestructible and Hexproof until end of turn. Solid for us. Some better removal with cards like Get Lost here. Otherwise, we don't have much else that really changes too much for here. Oh, I forgot to mention, we do have, of course, Corey Steel Cutters. We had to throw that in there with this deck. We can start spell slinging a ton. We can make a ton of cards with this. I'm sorry, a ton of tokens. And this, of course, goes absolutely bananas if our opponent does not answer it. That goes great with our game plan here. Otherwise, aside from that, looks like the 2-drop slot doesn't really change much anything else. Everything kind of stays the same. There are 3 drops here. If there's anything that we're changing, not really. We're going to get a little bit of better removal. We have Flame of Anor here. We don't really have any wizards, but we could still use this as a better flex ability for us for our deck. Prismari Command is going to be also another better option for us. This helps us with flex. We can either make treasures, draw some cards, do some damage, whatever we need to. We'll throw in War Leader's Call as well as Impact Tremor, so this gives us a much stronger boost and also can ping out our opponent. So it's a nice little way of getting us to what we need to. Otherwise, going into the 4-drop slot, not much else really changes. We do have a stronger Wrath for us. Supreme Verdict can't be countered, so it destroys all creatures, so good for us. Otherwise, pretty much everything else stays the same. With the actual land base here, we're definitely going to get a nice overhaul here to some more upgraded stuff. So we're going to trim down now 3 of each of the basics. We have a Quarry Mountain Monastery here to kind of help us exile some stuff we need to just to buy us time. We're kind of digging stuff out. Ahsoka's in Crucible. Defiance here also can make us some tokens when we need them to. We'll throw in, of course, better dual lands. So the Verge lands are going to be here, the Shock lands across all 3 colors, and the Surveil lands will be our better option here. And the reason why we want those ones specifically is because not only also with the Triome here, we'll keep our Archway. We have fetch lands that we're going to use, so we definitely want to fetch out the specific one. So that's why we have the duels, the Surveils, and the Triome. So we have Arid Mesa, Flooded Strand, Prismatic Vista, and Scalding Tarn here. We have a stronger offering. I'm sorry, so instead of Pit Offerings, we'll then kind of double it up. We'll also utilize as well Scavenger Grounds. So this can be instant spot removal, or this can get rid of key spot removal cards. Otherwise, Command Tower is the same. Demolition Field stays around as well, and Arid Archway. So that is the upgraded version of the deck. Is this version going to be the one that's going to get us to our victories? Well, let's find out. Feeling pretty good about this one here because this one definitely has a lot more boom to it, oomph, if you will. Lapon, hello, my fiery friend over on Twitch. How you doing today? Green Poison with Green? Yes, that is coming eventually. I know a lot of people out there love Finn the Fangbearer and Poison decks, but that will be coming in our ultra budget deck sometime in June. That's what I'm pegging for the next one for that one. But right now we're still going to go in order. We have right now finished the blue deck. The white deck came out earlier this week. Black deck has already been built, so we're going to start recording that one probably over by Sunday so we can get that one start going. Of course, I'll still figure out what I want to do for red, and green is already kind of like set in stone. But don't worry. All these ultra budget decks that you guys all like, they will be coming. And of course, once we're done with the mono colored ones, we'll definitely jump immediately into the dual colored ones. But of course, we still have to make sure we have time for Final Fantasy coming out, Edge of Eternities. I'm super, super hyped about that one. I don't know what we're going to do for Spider-Man. I'm still not feeling Spider-Man at all. Not in Magic, but that's a whole nother rant I will save later this year. Anyways, okay, so let's go back to the match here. Sorry, I'm scattered all over today, but here's what we got. Okay, so we got Thundering Falls, no lies. All right, let's keep this hand. It should be solid. But yes, hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Lapon, how you doing? Let's see. Let's put down Hallowed Fountain. And we'll play Storm Chaser's Talent now. Our opponent is playing Joda the Unifier, which means expect a lot of broken stuff, because they're going to definitely start going nuts here. But they're also going to be very slow if they can't fix their mana the right colors. We'll see if we can outrun them, though. All right, Thundering Falls. Surveil. What do we get? Okay, Murmuring Mystic is nice, but we need lands, so we're going to have to throw that away, unfortunately. All right, our Otter gets a swing. Down 25, opponent. First Blood. Command Tower. That's best fixing you can get. Legion's End. Annoying. Okay. Scavenger Grounds. So, let's see. Third Path Iconoclast. I think our opponent probably made a mistake there by getting the Legion's End to be used now. They could have used that against our token strategy. But oh well. Hey, ain't gonna knock them on doing that. That helps us out. Sneaky Toilet, apart from you hyping it up, Covert Go Blue also said there's some powerful cards coming with Final Fantasy. Yeah, I've been kind of keeping an eye on it. There's a lot of good stuff. Ironically, though, there's actually a lot of equipment that I actually am very intrigued to try out. But we'll see. I'm hoping that we can get some stuff going with that. Flame of Anor, we're going to have to just draw cards with this. Let's go ahead. We need our lands. Okay, so we did get a land. That's good. At least a land is better than nothing. Yeah, I haven't watched Covert Go Blue too much here, but I know he's definitely big on a lot of stuff out there. I do like that the Final Fantasy set will have a lot of solid stuff for us coming out soon. But we'll see. We'll see what we can do with that. Let's see. Oh. Elishnorn doesn't help us out here too much here, but we'll try. Narset. No swings yet. So the way we're going to try to do this is we need a way to damage with Flame of Anor, and hopefully that might be enough. We need to find a way to pump up Narset. We can cast the Flame of Anor. Oh, jeez. Kaya. Ugh. She's going to exile. Dang it. Okay, well, we'll start blocking here. Joy. All right. This is now going to be a bit of a problem for us, but we're going to try to get around it. Shigo and Narset coming in. No attacks yet. If our opponent does swing, maybe Elspeth's Smite might have to do it. I don't want to do it that way, but I cannot have Elishnorn knock off our game plan here. Joe the Unifier, okay. Ugh. Absolutely horrid. We're going to try, though.
Ghosting feels weird, right?
Okay. We're doing this right now just to make some tokens. So this stalls us out a little bit. Pit of Offerings. Okay. So with that... And... Oh, I forgot that doesn't even help us here. Alright, go to level 2. And then... Bring the Flame of Anor back to our hand. Take out Kaya. Kaya's down.
This wasn't what I signed up for.
Phew. Okay. We still have a Elishnorn we have to find a way to beat. Some way, somehow, we got to get around Elishnorn. I don't know how, but we're going to try. And Joda starts going off here. Okay. I mean, we played a lot of decks where we've tried to cheat stuff into play, but this gets stupid. Like, really stupid. It just goes on, so... I can tell you right now, Sneaky Toilet, if you're a person that's trying to cheese and pub stomp, decks like this would be probably right up your alley. Because they get ridiculous. Tasha. I hate Tasha. Ugh. Okay. I don't know if I want to continue this. This is too punishing. Yeah. I don't like to concede too quickly, but that was just way too much value for us, and we're not going to get around that. We only have one Wrath in the whole deck, and I don't think we're going to be able to top deck it. So I'm just going to end my suffering while I could. End it on my terms. Right. That's fine. We'll shake it off. We're going to try again. Okay. Okay. Sneaky Toilet. No, you misread. I'm the one getting stomped. I need to play versus easier people on starting Brawl. Oh, okay. I did misread you there. I do apologize. Sorry about that. But remember that if you're playing Brawl, supposedly like your how your deck is designed will determine who you face off against more or less. If you have a weaker deck, you're supposed to be facing against decks that are of equal level just to make sure it's as fair as possible. So just FYI, it really depends on how you built your deck. Okay, in the meantime, so we got good lands. We have a little bit of a game plan here. If we can just kind of build into what we need, we should be fine. But I say that all the time. Sneaky Toilet. I've been having an easier time with my Heir Apparent decks. Yeah, I'm guessing that because it's all, what is it? It's all commons? That's probably why you're getting, why you're going to kind of get the easier matchups. Because literally your deck is just all that. So I guess they're going to weigh it that way. You'll probably face off against also more gimmick decks out there that are very spicy jank piles. Not to saying that your deck is bad, it's just, I find it boring. But people out there like playing those decks that can play any number of cards. Having said that, however, I would be a hypocrite if I said I never played them. But I do play a couple of them. But they can be fun, depending on how you build them. Okay, in the meantime, let's play Thundering Pulse. Ooh, Prismatic Fist, that's good. Let's keep that on top. Okay, so let's see. Opponent is playing a Tally here. We got to make sure that does not hit the battlefield, by the way. We can just keep this off. We should be fine. Opponent is playing then Gruel something or other. We'll see. 500 hairs? That's too many hairs, by the way. Personally, I would be more fond of... Let's see. I probably wouldn't put in that many Heir Apparents. I would still probably want to put in some more Rabbit synergies to kind of help out with the Heir Apparent plan. But I know some people just go all in on them. It's kind of a shame, though, because I would like to make a deck that uses like cards that say you can put any number of them into a deck. But a lot of those decks, or let's just say a lot of those cards end up becoming like $5 a piece. And that's not worth it in paper, unfortunately. Rather shame, though. I don't want to pay that much for like a deck per se, but it can get expensive. All right, down to 22. So we have a Saheeli now, so we can start going off with a bunch of tokens if we want to. Okay, Moldering Gym. They have the weight room, so they can manifest something if they want to later on, but we'll see. Okay, opponent, what do you got? Show me what you got. Still got a lot of cards in hand. 5. Do they have ramp? If they have ramp, then we have to keep mana open for the... Okay. Well, let's see. Attack the Prismatic Vista. We will get out... Let's get out a mountain. And then we can... Chico and Narset. No attacks yet. So... Ortheon, Hero of Lavabrink. I haven't seen this card played too often, but it can be a powerful one if built correctly, although he is rather expensive. Okay, Surveil land. So our opponent might have what they need next turn for a Tally to come in. We shall see, though. Does our opponent have any removal for Chico and Narset? If they don't, we can, in theory, get there. Hopefully. Unnatural Restoration. All right. All right, so that's what they're going to try to do to get their last land drop here. Slick Sequence. Huh. Okay. This is a critical turn. Play the Balmor. We swing here just to get some damage. Down to 18. Okay. So, Don't Make a Sound is literally what we need in order to ensure we can just... get off. Alright, a Tally. Oh, our opponent. They got cheeky there. No, 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 opponents. You should have waited. Make tokens. Denied. Whew. Okay. That bought us time. That's all we needed was we needed time. Okay. So with that, we just need to slow them down a little bit more. I think we could do that. Okay. Okay, so this should be good for us now here. Okay. This should be solid. So with that, let us play Lightning Helix. There we go. Make our little army of tokens. Tick down. on an artifact, and then we can add a Monastery Slip here. Nice. Okay. Slick Sequence. There we go. Make more tokens. Make another copy. To face. All right. And we also got the Ward Leader's Call. Very good. And we close out the game that easily. Out of nowhere, everybody. Victory for us. All right. Yeah. Take that, opponent. No cheating stuff out. No, no, no. Not on my watch. Too bad. We will take that win. So there you go, everybody. Another good victory for us with this deck. Just, again, get out with a couple of your key pieces, spell sling a little bit, and then overwhelm your opponent with a value you can make. All right, feel good. Feeling good. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead. Let's continue on. We still got a little bit more time in the stream. We'll see. 21 common appearance. Okay, so it's not the full deck. I know some people try to go a little bit overboard, but the key to making all those decks work with gimmicks such as, you know, you can put in whatever amount of a card you want to make sure, again, and this kind of just goes for everybody out there, is, you know, you got to find that balance because you still need support options. You can't just go all in on it. I mean, you can, but it won't really help your deck do its thing. So an all rats deck that uses, what is it, the colony card, or anything else like that, you kind of want to make sure you readjust accordingly. So just my 2 cents. Okay, tap land. We're playing Ugin. Can we get around an Ugin? We will try. Iron Crag. Okay. Tap land again. Okay, so we can get down Narset, hopefully, and we should be able to go from there. So, alright. Well, it is ramping. They're ramping for sure. Narset of the Ancient Way. Use this to gain a little bit of life back. Make the mana, but we don't need it. Okay, so we can tick up a couple more times. Maybe we might be able to get there. Hedron Archive, okay. Wow, our opponent is getting all the ramp going. We don't have an answer for all these artifacts, unfortunately. Hinterland, the 2 white talents, a bunch of graveyard pulls, and then hairs. Ah, okay, okay. I see your game plan now. Okay, so with that, we will put it on white. Divine Visitation. Okay, so we have our game plan set. The problem, though, is they're going to bring down that Ugin, and that pretty much knocks out our whole game plan. We don't really have an option right now in hand to make this work. We can try, but Ugin right now is going to just start exiling everything. Okay, they're starting to gain life. I mean, I don't know if we can get around this, but we'll try. Oh boy. Okay, so let's see. This is so awkward, though, because we can't really... Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Got to get some sleep. Oh, okay. Well, have a good evening. Take care, Dense Planets. We'll see you again, hopefully again on the next stream. Have a good night. We'll see you again really soon. And meanwhile, our opponent is hosing us here. You know, nah, we can't do it. Not against this, because once Ugin hits the field, they're just going to keep exiling everything. So we're going to just take the L now. Dang. Okay, well, I mean, that's Ugin for you. We just couldn't out-ramp them. Okay. Give it another shot. Shaking it off, we're just going to jump into another game. We can get wins with the deck, so I am happy that this deck does prove that it is capable of victories. Sometimes, again, just don't get the right setup. Okay, let's see what we got here. So we can keep this hand. This is fine. We have the Scalding Tarn, Prismatic Vessel, so we got great, solid options here for our fetch. Opponent puts down their Selindi. Now, God Eternal Kefnet. So this is either going to be tempo or a lot of counter spells. One or the other. We'll see what they throw. But it's going to be a little while until they get to their stuff. Island. Mind Stone. Okay. Rampant again. Scalding Tarn. We will get out... What do we want to get out here? I guess we will get out... Get the triumphs. Now we're fixed perfectly. Okay. Prismatic. And we'll wait. Oh, maybe I should have put down the Salinity Visions ourselves. That's okay. We can still get there. We can still get there. Done. Putting out another island. What you got, opponents? Ooh, they got their own Narset. Okay. Alright, alright. Opponent is playing the control package. Digging.
Keep an open mind.
What you gonna get, opponent? Okay, so they got... Oh, they got Time Warp. Ugh. Opponent is gonna try to be a little dirty here and try to get some extra turn value. We'll see if we can get around that, though. We will try. Get a mountain. Let us take out that Narset. So that's gone. Phew. Okay. That's okay for now. Let's see. Bit of offerings. Ether Narset. We'll eat our Lightning Helix. And I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay. So at least this fixes to what we need. That's what we were hoping for. At least now with that, we now have a decent mana base. Our opponents brings in their God Eternal Kefnet. Ugh. Tough call. Can we get around that? Let us Cathartic Pyre. Throw away 2. Draw 2. Okay. We might get there with this. Five damage. Okay. So God Eternal is gone. They have to recast. So that slows them down and buys us time. Put down Ursulindi as a tap land. Okay. So, let's see. Shiko and Narset doesn't really mind mono blue that much, but we can get counterspelled a lot if we don't deal with stuff. Can we get around it, though? We will try. They hit themselves 22. Shark Typhoon. Okay. Sun Billow Verge. That's good. Let us play Frostcliff Siege. And let's see. We will do it that way. And pass. Okay, opponents, what do you got? If we can find a way to get rid of that Shark Typhoon, we might have a shot here, but it's going to be a little tough. A little tough. Okay. Can we do it, though? Can we do it? Okay, opponent, don't take too much time here. I would like to get my turn in at some point. Okay. Let's see. Can't counterspell that. But, let's see. I'm going to draw 2. Discard 2. Okay. I guess that's going to be these 2. Okay. Stormcatcher Mentor. That can be helpful at a later point, but not right now. Actually... Oh, this actually works. Okay, Prowess. Nice. We swing. There we go. And then Flame of Anor again. Beautiful. Okay. We then 5 damage to their face. And get another pump. Okay. Nice. We got it out of the way. So that means they have to wait a little bit longer to use it. Whew. Okay. We're still fighting. They haven't made any sharks yet, so that does buy us time. Down to 15. Okay. Is there a way out of this? Another option we have is we can go either with either of these, Stormcaster or Jeskai Wayfinder. Either way. That can help us draw some cards. All depends on what our opponent does here, though. What do they do? We'll definitely get a lot of value with Narset here, which is great. As long as it stays on the field. Liberate. Okay. Well, here come the shark tokens. We do still have a lot of options, though, in the graveyard. Okay. 4, or actually 5 mana. Do they Time Warp now? You technically can, opponent. Not saying you should, but they can. Okay. What else? Is there a way out of this? Okay, so they do bring down again. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a choice. So let's see. With that... Oh, boy. Okay. Stormcatch Mentor. That cheapens Legion leadership. And then we can pump up everything. Ooh, maybe that might be a good sneak attack. On the other hand, we'll do it this way. We can, let's see here. Is it charm? Get the pump going. So Shark is down. Now, whatever they block, I think that should be possibly game. All right, here we go. We came here for this. Did we get it? Oh my goodness. We got there. We got the secret win. Woo! I did not think we were going to get that win right there, but man, our opponent did not have the answer for them, and we got the sneaky win because they chose not to block. Yeah! All right. Feeling good about that one. Very nice. Very nice. I'll take that win. Okay. Whew. Nice. Deck is... sometimes gets wins out of nowhere. So I like it. I like what it does. Keep the good times rolling. So, how are we feeling about this deck so far, everyone? Liking it? I'm enjoying it. I might do a couple more tweaks to it in the future if I want to play it again, but this has actually been pretty nice. Been very nice. Okay, opponent is playing Adeleine, so that means we're going to be seeing a lot of go wide stuff here. But we do... ooh, all right. We got the Wrath in hand. That's actually good for us. We'll see if we can get there then. Hopefully we can get there again with this. Okay. Otherwise, let's see here. Strike it rich, so that helps us make a token. We have everything we need to kind of spot removal things until we can get to our answers. They're going first, so we will see if that is going to be a problem for us. Okay, Soak is in. Strike it rich. Make that first treasure. And opponent, what do you got? Mox Amber. Oh, okay. Maybe we should have put in Mox Amber for the deck. I probably should have done that for the non-budget, so lesson learned for the future. Scavenger Grounds. Okay. We can play... let's actually play the Scalding Tarn now. Oh, wait. Okay, opponents. What else you got? Bounty Agent means that... let's see, if we sacrifice this... Legendary Permanent. Okay. So they're using this as spot removal at some point in the game. Opponent swings. They do. Alright. Okay. So with that, we're going to have to hurt ourselves here quite a bit. Not that I want to, but in order for us to do this correctly... ouch. Elspeth Smite. So that's gone. No more lives will be helpful for later. Let's see. In the meantime, Scavenger Grounds. We'll wait. We'll wait for a moment here because if they bring in Adeleine, we can then counter it. And I also realized I probably should have used the Elspeth Smite for Enduring Innocence, but oh well. That shouldn't come back to haunt us, right? Right? Okay. Yeah, we have to do this. Gotta keep that off the field, too. Okay, opponent, swinging. They do. Okay. This is fine. Strike a rich again, make another treasure. We can Sundering on Fissure and pass. So, maybe, just maybe, we can get there with big Narset. Adeline coming in. Okay. They draw a card. They will swing. They start making their tokens. Down to 17. They go up to 29. So, let's see. This hurts for a moment. So we'll bring in Big Narset now. Thankfully, because I had Hexproof, we can survive a turn. So that means we can, if we have to, we can sponge a hit. And then hopefully we can get some value with Narset here. Top 4 cards. Cast non-creature spells from among them without paying their mana cost. Okay. So that does... This hopefully should make our comeback. Ghostly Prison. Oh. Okay, opponents. I see what you're trying to do there. Beyond annoying, by the way. Okay. They swing with just one creature. Okay. And we block with 1. Okay. Down to 10. Okay, so with that, thankfully, though, we do have the Rip Apart, so we can destroy Ghostly Prison. Phew. Okay. We swing here. Oh, come on. We actually fizzled? Wow. Wow. We actually fizzled? Ugh. Okay. Well, that stinks. We did not get at all what we were looking for there. But okay. Okay. Unfortunate. Really awkward hit there. So I think if we tap down... Okay, Banner Kinship, okay. Let's tap down Adeline. So no attack from her. But they do get a hit in, unfortunately. Which is not what I wanted, but okay. Got him 2. Okay. That it. Alright, Sunbillow. So this is our emergency swing here. Can we get some value? Come on, deck. Come on, don't let me down. Okay, Lightning Helix is not ideal, but I guess we'll take it. Doesn't really, okay, I guess we just go to face. Okay, opponents. Go up to 5. They block. And the Supreme Verdict. So this does buy us time that we're going to need. Okay. Dang it. We couldn't use the Dawn's Truths at the same time. That's unfortunate. Brave the Elements. Wait, does that work? It doesn't. They still lose all their creatures. I mean, I don't know why you did that, opponent. It just gives you protection. It doesn't actually give you indestructible. I don't think our opponent was aware of that, but okay. Adeline coming down again. Round 2. I guess that kind of saved us for a little bit. Okay, Source of Plowshare. That's good. Okay. Opponents. We'll wait. Pass. Okay. So. Pacifism. I mean, that's fine, I guess. Annoying. Horn of Gondor. I guess we don't mind that. Okay. Lunarch Aspirant. Okay. Well, they're all tapped out now, so do they pump? Okay. Phew. Okay, we're still alive. Barely, but we're still alive. Okay, Narset's Rebuke. Okay, that's good too. So let's see. Each turn. Okay, so with that. Oh boy. Okay. We have to do it this way. Dang. Okay. We get the mana back, but we can't. So that's the 3. We're doing this literally out of desperation. Just to draw a card. Corey Steelcutter. Okay. If we can somehow chain spells together with Corey Steelcutter, we might somehow survive. But I don't know if we will. Oh, jeez. We can only swing with Chico. 2 cards in hand, opponent. We are completely tapped out here. Wow, we're literally hanging on by a thread. Okay. This creature enters. Search only for a creature card. Oh. Recruiter card. Interesting card. Okay. Opponent swings. You get a free attack. We go down to 2. Okay. This is it. Now or never. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Well, I mean, I could attach this here, but that doesn't do anything, so good job, opponent. We just couldn't survive long enough to stabilize. Dang. Okay. Well, it's unfortunate, but that's okay. Okay, looking at the clock. I think we might have time for 1 or 2 more matches, and that's going to be it for the stream today, everybody. I still appreciate all of you hanging in there for today. Thank you so much, as always. Really appreciate all of your love and support. And we're definitely going to do our quick wrap up like we always do and go from there. But okay, let's see. Can we finish strong today? Let's see. So, slow again, but this is doable. We can make this work. All right, all right. Feeling good. Keep. And opponents, so playing Rennie here. Okay. We've seen this card, but we actually haven't played it per se. Stadium Dragon, of course. Okay, and with that, we will play Legion Leadership tapped. Okay, opponents. Bring it on. I'm ready for ya. Island. Oh, they're playing alchemy cards. That's not fair. That's cheating. That's cheating, opponent. That is cheating, by the way. Boo. Alright, fine. We'll just make it work. Some way, somehow, we'll try to make it work. Impact Tremors. Okay, so with that knowledge, can we get around there with their field some help? See, because again, like, this is just so unfair. It's going to keep making stuff cheaper and cheaper as the game progresses. Not for just doing nothing. It's just as annoying sometimes as the landfall deck. That's kind of how it is. But we'll try our best. Corey Steelcutter coming down. Okay, so let's see. Can we muster up anything here? We will try. Terror of the Peaks. Of course, it comes in for cheap. That's not fun. Okay. So let's see. Is there a way out of this? Can we get anything out of this hand? Okay. I think... Yeah, we can't go off with this. Not as long as that Terror of the Peaks is terrorizing us. Dang. Okay, well, if we can at least get 1 or 2 cheap spells, maybe we can, I don't know, put something together next turn? Maybe? We're going to try. Unfortunately, that Jeskai Charm just doesn't do it for us. Dang. Goldspan Dragon, okay. Okay, opponent hits us to the face. Let us bounce away that Terror of the Peaks. Okay, opponent can do 2 swings. Make a treasure. Okay, we're not looking too god here. That Fearsome Whelp literally is making things completely unfair as they just keep casting more stuff for like next to nothing. Arcane Signet, okay. Saheeli. And Arcane Signet. It does trigger off now. So paying 1. Paying 2. And, okay, well, something, sort of. But it's not enough. Our opponent is just going to keep getting more cheap value. Like, I'm sorry. Again, I know I rant about this a million times, but I'm going to keep saying it. These alchemy cards are just not balanced fairly for regular paper. Fearsome Will Peer, literally just going to keep making every dragon cheaper and cheaper until they're literally just free. It's just disgusting. It's just not... Come on. Arena, I know they're never going to fix that, but it's just... You can kind of see it just keeps becoming a bit more of a problem as the game progresses and just keeps getting more stuff. I mean, am I crazy? Am I crazy for complaining this much about alchemy cards? Because it just feels like they're not fairly balanced for what we were trying to do. Okay. Try not to whine too much. Just try to work around it. Sneaky Toilet. Nah, I'm with you. I hate it and I'll never play alchemy. Yeah, it's just... If they were more balanced for the paper formats, and they're not, it's just... Look at how ridiculous this gets. A 6 mana that's coming down for like that much is like, come on. Really? And then also they can just keep making up these new cards here that just keep popping in for free. Just ridiculous. I'd rather get beat by an actual legit combo deck that actually has cards built into its deck. Not this. Just... It's different than like even when you make tokens and stuff. It's just really kind of just... I'm just not a fan of it. King our opponent for 1. So let's see here. We can get lost. We get ourselves. Bang. And we can at least hit something else. I guess it doesn't really matter at this point. Take 4. It's down. And down. But it's just not enough. So we lose again to alchemy cards. Ugh! Absolutely disgusting. Come on! Absolutely disgusting. Just, ugh. My disdain is just through the roof right now. I'm sure there are people out there that like alchemy cards, but I'm just not that person. It does. I would rather we get for the remainder of time like Universes Beyond sets. Don't quote me on that, by the way. Versus just dealing with alchemy cards anymore. Like if we can get rid of them out of Arena, or at least put them in their own area, i.e. alchemy and alchemy Brawl, fine. Keep them there. That's their own little containment zone. But the fact that they allowed them to permeate into historic and timeless, that's where it just feels like it's not fun. Just again, my 2 cents. I know Wizards will never listen, and they'll just kind of just do it. I just don't get why, though. I don't get what the process was. I know they wanted to... They're trying to get in on the digital card market of things that do this kind of stuff, like Hearthstone and whatnot, but at least those cards do kind of get a little bit of a tweak here and there. They're not just thrown out there as is. But okay. Enough from me. I will simmer down for now. Meanwhile, our opponent is playing Alicia, who laughs at fate. So for that one, thankfully, we do have a witness protection, so that actually is good for us. Let's see here. Verge. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we got. Mountain. Waste not. Okay. Opponent is going to try to do their thing against us here, but we will see if we can get around it. Okay. What else you got, opponent? Croaxa coming in. So it makes us discard. But let's exile it now so it doesn't come back anymore. So we will throw away... What do we throw away here? We'll throw away the land. Do they cast anything else? You have a shot here to cast something, opponent. Alicia. Actually, that's what we wanted. Okay. Whew. Okay. Witness protection. Sorry. Legitimate business person. And also now we can destroy the Waste Not. All right. Now we're back in control. Good. Tap land. Phew. Okay. We managed to neutralize their threats, which is solid. Until they can get rid of that witness protection, Alicia won't get a chance to do much of anything to us. So, that's good for now. She can swing as she wants to, by the way. Opponents. When another non-token creature you control dies. Okay, so we can exile this if we need to later on. Corey Steelcutter. But we'll, for now, make some monk tokens. There we go. Okay, now we're starting to try to see if we can rebuild our comeback here. We do have spot removal for the body launderer later on, if we can get there. Ideally, I would love to get at least one more land. I think that would be good. Hopefully you packed hopefully you packed something there, opponents. Block. Actually, we'll just block this here. We can just do this. Okay. So that buys us time. That's good. We can always bring back the Corey Steel Cutter anyway, so that's not a problem for us. Blood Hall Priest. Okay. Murmuring Mystic. Okay. We still can go wide with tokens. If this creature enters or attacks, if you have no cards in hand, 2 dark. Okay. Opponents. So they had a way to sacrifice. Okay. So they found a way to get back their commander, at least for now. Okay, you see a guard approach. Not quite what I wanted to see now, but I guess we'll make it work. So, if Shigo survives a turn, maybe we can get there. Maybe. Enduring Courage. Doge swings? Nope. Nothing? They do swing. Okay. Is this the trap? Okay. We'll let it go. For now. Okay, so we did get a Thundering Pulse. Okay, so with that... Can't afford to take any more damage. We'll wait it out. If we can hit them with Elspeth's Smite, we might be able to then turn this around. Okay, Leisha. Okay. Can't afford for you to do anything here, opponent, so we're going to tap that down. Too bad. Too bad. Swing. Okay, that's fine. So with that... And there we go. That's what we wanted. Attach. Bloodhall Priest, gone. Nice. Okay, out of the way. Block here. Phew. Okay. Unfortunately, the rated trigger does go off still, which is annoying. But at least this way we can still kind of do our thing. Sort of. Okay. Opponent makes this sacrifice. Flame of Anor. Okay. Okay. We'll wait it out. Opponents. 5 damage. Enduring Courage is down. So it does turn into now just an enchantment. We're just slowing them down as much as we can. Okay. That starts getting pumped up, so we gotta find a way to deal with Alicia. Okay. Okay, so they just sacrifice their own creature. That's fine. Ugh. Not what I wanted to see, unfortunately. Do they have another card? Okay. Swing it again. 1 turn. Can we find a way to get around this in the last turn? Come on, deck. Okay, Body Launderer. Frostcliff Siege. Dang it, that does not do it for us. Even if I choose it on anything, that's game. Alright. Okay, well, that was not the way I wanted to end it, unfortunately. But looking at the clock, I do have other things, unfortunately, I have to take care of. So I do apologize, everyone. But that's pretty much going to have to be it for there, everyone. We went out on a little whimper, but it is what it is. It's okay. Let's actually now just kind of continue on real quick with how the deck overall did. Let's talk about briefly Narset's Flurry and how we feel. So, what do you think about the deck, everybody? Do you like the deck in any way, shape, or form? Would you play this? Personally, I did like it. It is a little clunky here and there, so maybe I would probably tweak it just a little bit to maybe give us a little bit more ramp. So that's probably where I'm looking at right now. It's probably some of the cards from, what is it? I can't remember the name of the set right now. Well, anything we can help us develop treasures. Being in Jeskai is a little clunky for us in order to just ramp, because these colors are not the best for ramping. There are some options out there, but it's mostly going to get us basics. So just FYI, I would probably do a little bit of tweaking to make sure we can have better ramp for this deck And I think that probably would help us out a little bit. I probably would trim down a little bit of the spot removal and maybe also add in a little bit more card draw, because also that's where we were kind of fumbling a little bit. Still, the deck does well if everything kind of lines up. You've seen it already. Like cards such as all the Narsets actually do really good. So all of them together are hilarious, by the way, even if they didn't all perform all the time. But when our opponent lets us set up, it is so much fun. I did have a lot of fun with everything, even budget form. I would definitely say for the budget one, not much else I would really change. If you can afford a stronger mana base, please, by all means, do so. I cannot stress that enough. Otherwise, once we get to the upgraded version, you definitely have a lot more consistency with the mana base. But I would also probably recommend, I would probably say maybe trim out some of the stuff here that maybe we may not need, just to make sure, again, we can get stronger ramp and maybe a little bit more, I guess, either spot removal or better, or maybe another Wrath or two, just to kind of give us a little bit more protection while we build out our game plan. At least that's how I think I would probably rebuild this. Something that would help us with card draw and something that would help stall us out while we keep building into our next pieces. So just my FYI in case if you're interested. And if you do like the deck, don't worry, at the very end of this, I'll put in the details, of course, links to both the regular and the upgraded version if you're interested in either or, so you can put them together yourself and kind of have fun with them if you'd like to. Now, before we end today's stream, as always, for those of you stuck around this far into the video, my true fiery friends, thank you again for hanging in there. You're going to get a little sneak peek as to me kind of discussing what we're doing. I know we talked about it briefly, but we are going to have wrapped up here basically Sinette. So this is our new ultra budget deck that is coming out Monday morning. So that is going to be dropping. Stay tuned for that one. That is coming. However, after that, we're pretty much going to be set to go to build basically Conrad. Small spoiler, if you've been around the channel since the very beginning, technically we actually put together a long time ago a super budget version of him, but that version is outdated. So the version we have here is fresh and new since Sir Conrad came out years ago. It's like that old version of the deck, I think, was like 4 or 5 years old at this point. That's a little outdated, especially in Magic terms. So this version here is brand new and refreshed for 2025. So this will be our mono black ultra budget deck. I'll be, of course, recording that very soon once we wrap up Sinette in the next day or two. As far as future stuff to stream, I'm still looking at other commanders. There was one that kind of caught my eye today, so this is going to be one that I think I'll probably start building immediately once I have a free moment to. So we'll probably do another Brawl deck. Sorry if you guys may not be the biggest fans of Brawl. I'm enjoying Brawl right now, so that's why I'm kind of also taking a break until we get to Final Fantasy. But the one that kind of caught my eye that I think we can build around, let me see if I can find it real quick for you, is, where was it at? Where is it? There we go. So yeah, so Felithar, we faced off against this earlier. This actually looks kind of fun because I do kind of like playing the Toughness Matters butts decks, and this one actually looks pretty fun for us. We haven't had a chance to play one in a while, so I think we're poised to then try again with another one. So maybe we'll see if I can afford, I just need one mythic. I literally am out of cards at this point, but I need at least one mythic, and then hopefully we can craft this and start building with it. So if you guys don't want to see that one, that should be coming up hopefully if I can get the mythic, by the way. We'll get that going maybe for the next stream or so, but that'll be coming out then. Otherwise, anything beyond that, I still have the 5-color dragon deck I'm going to save up most likely for the end of the month, and that'll be one of our last ones to focus on. Tarkir is kind of like our final farewell to Tarkir. We'll then do after that, maybe in early June, just a couple of freestyle types of decks, whatever pops into my head that I have been enjoying. And that should lead us right into Final Fantasy, where, again, we're going to cycle all over again and just start rebuilding everything focused on that set. So I'm super hyped about that. Even if I'm not really a Final Fantasy person per se, I don't play any of the games. I would like to play them if I had time, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe if I have time in my little lifetime, as this little fireball does, maybe someday I can do it. Maybe I'll do that as like a members only stream. Let me know if you're interested in that kind of content in the future. Otherwise, before we get going, as always, let's do our quick little shout outs to everyone that was here today. So Sneaky Toilet, my all-star today, thanks again for joining us today. Den Splendid, I know you are at this point sleeping, but thanks again for joining us even for a little bit today. Madness Steve also on YouTube, thanks again also for popping in for a little bit. For others that showed up there, what was that? There was another one of you. Oh, Lapon, thanks again for popping in just for a hot minute here. Appreciate that. Maybe you'll come back for us once we get the green poison deck ready to go. And of course, anybody else that's watching across any of our other streaming formats. So we have, of course, Instagram. We have YouTube, of course. Besides Twitch, we also are on X, and also we're on Kick as well. I also do need to put the Kick logo up on, I realize, our stream. So we'll do that in the future so we can make sure that everyone can find me wherever you want to watch me. Either way, I still appreciate wherever you are watching me. So thank you one more time, everybody. I now have to get ready for taking care of other obligations I need to do right now. So I'm going to leave in just a minute. So one more time, thank you again, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend, whatever you're playing in Arena. Hopefully, again, we'll get a chance to do this again very soon. I'm looking at possibly... We might have to do it. Next week's schedule is going to be a little bit clunky. I might actually have to push the stream to Thursday, and we'll take a break on content on Wednesdays. That's mostly what we're going to look at because I have a weird schedule next week. But again, details will come in an update probably Sunday or Monday. Either way, you'll get to know first. Have a wonderful day, everybody. We're going to now take off for now. But before we go, as always, just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. We will see you again Thursday, everybody. Later.